You could have stayed on the couch. It didn't force you to be in here. Load this shit the fuck up. Come on, man. Alright. We're here. We're queer. Get used to it. Alright. I don't care. I don't care if anybody shows up or not. It doesn't make a difference to me. Because I'm doing this more for me than I am for you. For a number of reasons. One is I have my first adventure back out in the fucking world tomorrow that I really don't, not really ready for, but I don't have a choice. I had to go back into this fucking doctor's office and possibly get piss tested and probably fail, but whatever. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Am I supposed to not use something that I can obtain legally that actually fucking helps on the off chance that I might fail a fucking drug test? Fuck that. Fuck that. That's stupid. That's fucking dumb. There's no reason at all. If these people fuck me over because of trace amounts of THC in my system because of the CBD, they can go fuck themselves. I mean, that really, it's fucking ridiculous. I'm not gonna worry about it, or I'm gonna try not to worry about it because it's out of my hands. Speaking of, and this is not what I started this for, but dude, since I started using this shit, I haven't had a problem doing the laundry. I haven't had a problem washing the dishes. So much so that I didn't even notice that it wasn't a problem. I don't know what more. I don't know what more do you need. What more do you need than that? Before I couldn't take fucking clothes out of the washer and put them in the dryer. I wasn't able to close my fucking fist all the way without it causing very sharp pain in the center of my fucking hands. Imagine that. Imagine that. Put yourself in my position for 5 fucking minutes. Every day you wake up, life is normal until one day it isn't anymore. And you slowly find out that you can't do things that you used to do. But the problem is that there are everyday things that you have to do. You can't just go, well, I guess I can't use my hands anymore, so I guess that's the end of that. That's not how it works. You have to do shit still. You have to. There's no way around it. So you're telling me I'm supposed to believe this is a rational human being that I'm gonna be dealing with. And I have no look. I can tell you things. One of them being, I know what this is about. Don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself for more than 2 seconds. This all comes down to one thing and one thing alone. Dollars and cents. That's what this shit comes down to. That's all it's about. These people don't give a fuck how you live. What hurts you, what helps you. They don't care. They don't give a shit. It's not a conspiracy. It's a fact. I have it backed by evidence. If these people cared, they wouldn't say things like, I would look into that, but I really don't have the time or the interest. How the fuck can you say that? You swore an oath, motherfucker. You swore an oath. Does that not count for anything anymore? I mean, I guess not. I guess not. It only counts if you're a fucking cop or in a mob, right? That's it. It's the only time it counts for anything is when you got to keep your fucking mouth shut when the people you work with are doing horrible shit, or your fucking best friend has to whack you because you did some shit you weren't supposed to do. That's the only time an oath counts anymore. Whatever. Look, dude, I'm going in there tomorrow. I'm bringing an empty bottle with me, and I'm gonna look this doctor right in her fucking face, and I'm gonna go, listen, dude, this shit works. I don't know what's in it. Allegedly, it comes off a farm in Oregon. That's what I know. Is that true? I don't know. I honestly, against my better judgment, I've thought about reaching out to this company and trying to get them on. Selfishly, I should add. Because really, I want to see how much detail I can get out of these people. How do they do what they do? What is the process between, all right, so you live in Oregon and you live on a farm where you grow marijuana legally, right? So what steps are taken from when that seed is put into the ground and it grows up to be a big bud tree, and then you cut it down or whatever it is you do, right? And then you do some shit to it, magic CBD, right? How does that all happen? How do I know? How do I know that I'm getting top shelf shit? I'm paying top shelf dollars. I see the third party studies that were done. Me and my boy were just talking about this the other day. He hit me to it. They had it on their website. So I went looking. I don't know what any of this shit means, but I'm a fucking idiot. They could tell me anything. I mean, I know a little bit about weed, right? Like, I don't know the ins and outs of growing things other than you need water and lamps and on off cycles with lighting, and temperatures got to be right, and you got to make sure you don't grow mold, and especially when you dry it out. It's like the most crucial part, because everything has to be at a specific temperature, otherwise the thing grows mold and everybody's fucked. Apparently growing marijuana is walking the line between creating penicillin and curating a miracle drug, because that's what it is. Dude, listen to me. I'm not, and I'll switch subjects after I say this, but I don't use those fucking words lightly, man. I don't know what is in this shit that I've been squirting into my mouth, phrasing for however long, but it fucking works, dude. Like, I'm on heavy narcotic muscle relaxers. If I gave you a day's worth of the shit that I take, you wouldn't be able to function. I will guarantee that. And I'm not telling you this because I'm proud of it. I'm telling you this because of a high-class narcotic medication can't take away, rather give me back the movement in my fucking hands. But oil derived from a fucking plant that grows in the ground can do it, and you're gonna tell me I can't have that? What the fuck does that even, how can you, and never mind legally or more, how can you ethically do that? Aren't you violating the very fucking code that you've sworn to uphold? I could be worried about nothing. But I mean, seriously, look, if they take this shit away from me, I'm gonna be in bad shape, right? because there's no guarantee I'm going to be able to get weed all the time. I have no idea how much I'm going to need, but at this point, I'm not willing to give up what is working. The only problem is keeping up with it. Luckily, because the corona might have been the best thing that ever happened. Because while 1,200 hours is not shit in the retrospect of being able to pay your bills and your rent, is helped me. Like I watched a video a while ago of Vic DiPotato talking about why should why should people on social security or people that are elderly or disabled, like why should they get stimulus checks? And I'm not going to go on talking about COVID or anything. I want to make this point. Why should they get stimulus checks when really the people that should get them are the people that work every week, right? The people that put in money into their income taxes every year. They should be the ones to get it, not the people that are on social security. But dude, you got to understand, I don't what this dude doesn't understand is that this check, as minute as it is for some people, this shit is giving me the ability to be able to get more of this shit. Now obviously I'm going to be using it for more important things. Why we give the lazy my money. Well, hold on. Because and nobody lazy here, bro. I guarantee you, I work harder than anybody. I work harder than anybody else on YouTube. I'll guarantee that. I will guarantee that. I spend more hours in this fucking room for free than any other creator on YouTube. I would almost bet money on that, dude. You'll need to pimp your mouth out. Yeah, that's hilarious. Listen, dude, you could call me a lot of things. Lazy is not one of them. Lazy is not one of them. I was born with a bad deal, which is why I bring up Horace and Pete in the first place. But since we're on this subject while we're here, might as well. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that all the people that are on Social Security and or disability and or welfare are lazy. Of course, there are people that take advantage of the system that don't really need it and they don't want to fucking work. So they just mooch off the system because they can. And those people are fucking assholes. But, you know, you got to also take into account people that, and I'll get into the show in a second because I didn't know about it either. I just recently found it. I mean, I've heard about it in passing, but look, dude, there's always going to be people that are taking advantage of the system, right? That's a fact. We can't argue. We can't argue that. What we can argue though is somebody in a worse off position than you shouldn't be helped because you work for your money. Are you trying to tell me that there's not things that people would be willing to do? We're all not lazy fucking people, but we have limitations. Hey, what's up, dude? I just watched the episode when Paulie killed the old lady when he was going to rob her. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in a long time. And by the way, dude, congratulations! The fucking Skeletak is killing it right now. Which, by the way, if any of you fucking fruits are unaware, what you need to do is you need to go out to your fucking app store or whatever it is and go buy the full version of Skeletak, dude. The demo is fucking dope. There's a playthrough on my channel. It's done very shittily. However, it's a legitimate review. I don't push products that I don't believe in. You have to understand that. I don't push products I don't believe in, even if people that I know or a person that I know is involved in it. I honestly, I really do like this game. So I feel like if you don't go out and buy the full version of a Skeleton, then you're missing out. Plain and simple, you are missing out on one of the best titles that is going to come out this year. And I say that as unbiased as possible because I challenge you. Go out and buy Skeleton, dude. You play that game and then I'll wait. You give me a better example of another game that's going to drop this year because you can't. You can't do it. Not to mention, that's the first indie title that Konami has put out in fucking who knows how long, dude. Do you understand what that means? The level of weight that carries? This goddamn game was so good. Konami, and this is nobody's opinion but my own, so, save your hate mail. Konami said this shit is so good that, we need to pick up an indie title. This is exactly why we need to quit giving money to illegals so we can take care of our needy. Now, look, I agree with you and I disagree with you at the same time. Gamers are losers. Dude. Bro, listen to yourself, dude. Stop it. What game did you play that hurt your feelings? Why would you hate on a good time, bro? Again, you know what? We're talking a lot about only Call of Duty. Of course, you fucking stereotype. Of course, you would like Call of Duty. it's PS. What the fuck is it called? It's PTSD live and in person on the screen for you to watch and enjoy it. So you and the character can have panic attacks together. Now, look, I agree with you and I disagree with you on the illegals point in the sense that we do need to take care of the people that are here first. But let's not pretend this country was founded on immigrants. If not for my immigrant grandparents, I would not have the luxury of sitting here and running my mouth for a limited audience. But the fact is that they did. So I believe there's a reason why they show Ellis Island in The Godfather, dude. Is because it was a moment in American history that I think we can all be proud of. Is the fact that, as fucked up as it was, people from other countries came here to try to start a better life for themselves. Ellis Island, I said illegals. Well, they were illegals before they registered. No, it's the same difference, dude. It's the same difference. Now, look, I'm not one of these people that says we should just open the fucking borders and let anybody in that wants to come in. That's just stupid. You have to think of the country like you would think of your home. You're not just going to open your door and just let anyone walk in. There needs to be checks and balances, but that doesn't mean that we should close the borders either. But we've needed to take care of first of all, we need to dead the argument that we fucking take care of people in this country, because for the most part we don't. We really don't. So we need to dead that idea as if there weren't illegal people here, that we would be doing something better with that fucking money. It would be going up some politician's nose. That's for one. But dude, I understand we need checks and balances. I live in California, champ. I know about illegals. Okay, I live in New Jersey. We got a Home Depot like every 5 feet. What do you want to do? Bro, listen, I know everybody knows illegals, and good for you. You live in California. I'm happy for you, and I'm sure the illegals are happy to be there too. Listen, you got everything you can want. You got legal weed out there, but we should encourage people. We should encourage people to want to be citizens, right? It's stupid on one thing that the governor of New Jersey has done is he's gone out of his way to take care of illegal immigrants in the sense that, like, all right, we'll make a program for them to get licenses and we'll make sure they can get on SNAP benefits and all that stuff. Now, I don't have, and again, I don't have an issue with immigration. I think we need that because we do need once in a while to be reminded of what the fuck this country is supposed to be all about. However, I think we should make it more enticing for people to register and become legitimate citizens. Because when they come here illegal, the problem is that we can't document what are they bringing with them. And I'm not saying that somebody could take this out of context and call me a racist, but this is fact. What I'm going to say here is, how do we know people that are coming illegally, whether they come from France, fucking Mexico, Italy, it doesn't matter. How do we know they're not bringing a disease with them when they come over here, where some shit like could happen in the future with this COVID thing that could happen again? But because we're not able to keep an eye on everybody, we need to be able to figure out this system, dude. But look, our everything is broken, but we have to end this nonsense. That as if if illegal immigrants don't belong here, then every fucking one of us that live here that is not a Native American should pack our bags and fucking leave first. I mean, come on now. Let's not get fucking ridiculous. We jacked and killed everybody that owned this land before we got here. So let's not try to be fucking cute. All right? It was a hostile takeover. Everybody knows that. Yeah, rape, pillage, the whole deal. But you know what? Fuck that. We're not talking about immigration. Okay, so what does that have to do? So they came from Asia, but they still did they not inhabit this country before Columbus came over here and decided to give his syphilis and machetes to everybody? And I know he probably wasn't syphilis, it was some other bullshit. It's still the point that we jacked it, and I thought they were Haitians, not Asian, but I don't know. I don't know enough. I'll be the first to tell you that I don't know enough. So they took it from whoever was here from them before. Now that could be a 100% a legit argument, right? And so is the way that life goes, right? The apartment that I'm sitting in right now wasn't always here. Before it was here, there were woods where animals lived. But we had to take this land and build on it so that people like me could live here. And Jen and everybody else in this building. And that sucks for the animals, but we should relocate them, or at least try to. Columbus never landed here. Well, I think Columbus is a fucking cunt, and I don't care who knows it. I don't understand Columbus. I don't know why you would want to celebrate a fucking murderer and a rapist, but I mean, you know, that's just me. But we're not, you know what? We're not here to talk about all of that. Although I would like to get into this conversation on another day, just because there seems like a lot here that we could work through. And I already like the fact that we don't agree. It seems like there's room for us not to agree on a lot of shit. So I like that, because then that means we might be able to work towards a common ground between ourselves here, which is always a good thing. The last thing you want to do is walk into a room of people that you agree with all the time about everything, because then nobody learns anything. You don't become better by only staying around people that share your mind state. The only way you can be better and do better is to surround yourself with people that think differently than you. Don't judge people from different eras. That's retard. Hold on, man. But how do you, first of all, how do you not judge people from different eras? So hold on, am I not supposed to judge that racist motherfucker from the Carolinas that that said that black people couldn't go to school with white people? Am I not supposed to judge that? Because I'm better than that guy. I'm not good at a whole lot of things. I'm not the best ever. I'm not the coolest person that ever lived, but I am 100% better than that person. You know why? Because I don't hate other people because of the color of their fucking skin or their sexual orientation. I hate them because they're assholes. I mean, other people. You mean Joe? You mean Joe Biden? Joe Biden is a fucking dope, dude. Joe Biden is a dope, and if the Democratic Party loses, which they fucking will, they deserve it. They fucking deserve it. Because why would you put the man doesn't even know where the fuck he is? You don't even know where he is. Enough with that guy. Christopher Columbus was from the 1500s. Well, I know from the song in elementary school that I think he sailed the ocean blue in 1492 or some bullshit like that. That rhyme, it floats around in my head for absolutely no reason at all. It just stuck there. I've heard it so many times. But, you know, I mean, look, could we say, well, it was a different time? Maybe they didn't know any better. Yeah, but maybe they did. Maybe they did know better. Maybe they did know better and they just chose to act like assholes because who was going to stop them? We're supposed to be better than those people. Every generation is supposed to elevate themselves above the last one that was before them. That's just the way that it's supposed to work. Look, we're not going to get everything right 100% of the time. That would be crazy to assume that. I didn't. Well, who said he brought slaves? What are you even talking about right now, dude? I feel like you're having a conversation with yourself, and maybe you're hearing things in my voice I didn't say yet. I didn't say he brought slaves with him. I don't know if he did or not because, contrary to popular belief, I wasn't there. I just know that he killed and raped a bunch of people from shit that other people have told me. I don't even necessarily know that that's true, but why would you make that up? You know what I mean? That seems like a terrible thing to make up about somebody. But fuck Columbus, we're talking about Horace and Pete. Now, for anybody who is unfamiliar and jarhead, we can get back into this conversation during the daylight hours. I would very much like to do that. I'd very much like to do that, except I came in here to, just kind of work through some shit, calm my anxiety down, and talk about a show that I thought I was going to hate, but I watched it anyway. Okay, so then you see this. Horace and Pete is, to my surprise, is on Hulu. Now, for those of you that don't know, is Mr. Madrox, and maybe you're unaware that there was I work, you lazy fuck. Man, shut the fuck up. What do you think I'm doing right now? I'm working, motherfucker. Just because I don't get paid don't mean I don't work. And I know, I hear you. I hear you. Oh, bro, what do you call that working? You run your mouth into a microphone all day and you click a mouse around. Oh, so tough. So hard for you to do. Bro, I hate to break hearts, but goddamn it, here I go. I know you were, dude. I'm breaking your balls a little bit, but at the same time, I know that there are people out there that are going to say in a serious way what you said. I know what you meant. Like, dude, I can't just. I have a job and I have a family. Like, I can't just jump in here whenever. And I'm not asking you to. We can work out a just to catch you up on the chat. Let's all rub butts and hug. That's hilarious. But I know people will say, "Oh, well, you don't do anything. You suck. Anybody can do what you do." That's not true. Not anybody can do what I do. I just pulled 30 minutes out of fucking thin air. I challenge you to go find somebody on the street and listen to them talk for 30 minutes and be entertained. Good luck. Whether you like it or not, and this is aimed at nobody specifically, what I do is a goddamn talent, and I'm proud because God knows I'm not very good at much else. it it is work though, dude. Editing hours, hours and hours in this fucking room, but I enjoy it. I like doing it, which is why I'm doing it. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. I can't remember the rest of the Snoop line. Not everybody can live stream to 4 people. You know what, dude? When you're right, you're right. When you're right, you're right. I understand anybody can look, but see, that's exactly the problem. That's exactly the problem with the culture today. Anybody that comes in here and will go 4 people. Ugh. Yeah, but you know what, dude? Howard Stern didn't get a fucking call from America's Got Talent because Howard Stern woke up one day and decided that he was gonna fucking be a big time deal in the radio industry. Okay, Jim and Sam didn't get handed. No, I know you are. I know you're busting. I know you're busting balls. I know you're busting balls. But I feel very strongly about this. Jim and Sam didn't get a fucking job at Sirius XM out of nowhere. Adam Carolla didn't become who he is. Jimmy Fallon. I can go on and on. I can name you 100 people just off the top of my head. These guys got here by starting out with an audience of maybe 4 people or less, or maybe no people at all. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But it's nobody respects the build, man. You had to just wake up one day and have 1,000,000 people following you for no reason. Yeah, me too. That's a good one. That was a good one. I'd be the worst gay lady that there ever was. Be like a fucking Walmart greeter in the Hawaii airport when you land. Ugh. That was never gonna work. I don't know why I attempted it. But so all right, fuck all that, dude. Nobody cares about you trying to make yourself secure in what you do, right? Nobody gives a shit about that. So look, Horace and Pete is, I wouldn't say it's a spin-off necessarily, but for those who are unaware, there was the show Louie. Well, first it was Lucky Louie. Then a few years later, however far apart it was, Louis did the self-titled show Louie, and then at some point he started up Horace and Pete, which is a completely different. It has similarities. If you've ever seen Louis before, it's basically real life situations that are kind of exaggerated a little bit. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Well, I think you guys are fucking awesome because without all of you, there would be no point to me sitting here. And I gotta be honest with you, dude. I like the fact that this thing is building up slowly. I wouldn't appreciate it if all of a sudden a bunch of people started filing in out of nowhere. I want people to be interested. One of the odd things that have made me smile a lot lately is watching my subscriber count go into the negative. Like I just lost 4 subscribers, gained 4 back, and then lost 1 again. So it's been interesting to watch that, and I'm not really sure what it is that gains or subtracts. But it is interesting to see how it is kind of just hovering around that one number. Yeah, it definitely is. I don't understand why. I mean, dude, I understand I say a lot of wild shit and somebody that's just passing through. Yeah. It might be. It might be. I don't know. But dude, I mean, look, this show. Hold on, what the fuck is playing in my living room right now? I don't even know what that is. Are you watching TV out there? Hold on a second. What the fuck? It's like a goddamn war zone. I didn't. I didn't put that on. I don't even know what the fuck that is. It's not anything that I was watching. I have no idea. It's a bunch of people in the fucking jungle shooting each other. So, look, interestingly enough, Horace and Pete has Louis C.K. in it, Steve Buscemi, whom you will recognize from The Sopranos. He was Nucky Thompson in Boardwalk Empire. And I'm sure he's been in a bunch of other stuff as well. There was a surprise guest in this show that I was not expecting to see, which was Carmela from The Sopranos. She was in this. It's Louis C.K., Steve Buscemi, and Carmela are all related in this show. So basically, that's the setup. Now, the cool thing about this, and you can say whatever you want about Louis and the shit that he's done in his personal life, but speaking strictly from a professional standpoint, I always respected and admired the fact that every fucking project this guy makes, he puts his friends in it or comics that he knows. Just from watching, I think there's only 10 episodes on this series, but I seen Mark Norman on here, Colin Quinn, the guy from the couch from Half Baked, he's in this. Michelle Wolf was in it, be it of all of 5 minutes, but she was in it. Who else? There was a bunch of people, dude. I think his name is Kurt Metzger. That guy was that guy was in here. I didn't see Jimmy Norton in this one, but I mean there's a lot of comics, dude, which I think is I like it when people go back and they they help put other people in a position to do well. It's not even like necessarily it's not even like he's feeding them necessarily, but he's putting them in a position where they could be noticed by important people so that maybe they can get roles or get, I don't want to say promotions because it's not the right word, but opportunity to maybe get a special. You know what I mean? And yeah, Nucky was the shit, dude. That show is amazing. Which, speaking of which, there's a some weirdo movie on Netflix right now, which has the kid from Boardwalk Empire. I don't know his name. The one that Nookie took under his wing. Review. I don't think so. I don't think I've heard of that. I'll do a quick search real fast. But before I do that, let me just give you the breakdown here on what the show is about. Horace and Pete are two middle-aged cousins that run a small family bar in the heart of Brooklyn with the help of their Uncle Pete. That's it. I'm surprised it's not more. Pick one.
color. Well, for me, I fixed her hand because I realized I did her hand backwards.
I would say this one.
Because of this too.
Yeah.
Uh, and probably because these ones don't have eyeballs.
Yeah.
Uh,
Jimmy. Is that who it was?
Jimmy Fallon?
No. Penny Dreadful. Billions. Hold on. Did I put in the right thing? You might have to give me the full thing of what it all is. Miss you guys like crazy. Dude, I know it's weird. It's weird to operate still as if nothing has changed because it is. Everything is different. It feels odd, but at the same time, I kind of feel like
What, my new penis?
what?
I said, what feels odd, my new penis?
Yeah, it feels real odd. No, I don't think so. I'll look that one up. Master Thief assumes identity of sheriff, former lover partner in crime. Okay. Oh, and I just found a show with the dude from Breaking Bad in it. The guy that played Jesse. It's called The Path. Shitload of action is a good show, and he's talking about Banshee, not the one I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't I don't really know how to feel about it yet. Other than the fact that I'm not really sure where I land on this kid's acting skills. Granted, I'm only an episode in, but I'm having a real hard time not hearing him go, Mr. White, in my fucking head every time I see him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's a show about a cult. I'm pretty sure. The whole thing is about eyeballs and stuff. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I've only watched the first episode, but I think I'm gonna watch it at a sure uh morbid curiosity. But what I like about this Horace and Pete show, oh, I didn't even finish my point from earlier, is I feel like Breaking Bad was alright. And I say it was alright because I mean, how much can you really do? How much can you really do? It was written very well, and I felt all the emotions out of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that part of it was bad. It's the same complaint you can have about any show. Is if you watch it long enough, you feel like they're just redoing the same shit over and over again. But I mean that's with anything. Aside from the fact that of course there are things that you're gonna scrutinize a little bit more than others. And I do love the fact that DeRosa and Burr were both on that show. But what I like about this motherfucker, I did it again. Well, I feel like I thought I'm gonna be honest with you, people. There's another reason why I came in here. Since we're on the subject of shit feeling different, I came in here because I'm going through it again.
What, puberty?
Yeah, puberty. I mean, you know,
Is you puberty?
I'm going through it again where I felt like I did when Doug left. Like, dude, I don't know I don't know if I could do this. I don't know why. Every time, yeah, menopause. Well, I got sunburn, so it certainly feels like I'm going through a bit of menopause right now. But I go through a thing where it's every time I get over a big hurdle, like I have I think 11 episodes that are up and ready to go, and it's in between. It's that time when I've finished editing the last thing that I've worked on, and then it's all set and ready to go. Where I'm like 2 months ahead of schedule, and then for some reason I'm like, that's it. It's over. I have nothing. I have nothing left to contribute. This is how it all ends. And meanwhile, in the back of my mind, all I can think about is when you need more shit. 2 months is not enough. You know, if you fucking leave the house tomorrow and you get killed somehow, 2 months is not that long of a time. But, you know, I gotta get over that. There's only so much you could do before you start to resent what you're doing or you get burned out, which I started to feel like I was getting burned out. But then it's also like, all right, that's it. I'm done. I've done all I can do. What else is there? And I'm like, well, I have other stories that I could tell, possibly other shit that I could talk about. But I do get that that sense of dread. What's happening? I'm talking about uh when I've gone through this several times
It's a type of depression.
since the
Or your bipolar phone.
yeah, it is almost like writer's block, except instead of not being able to come up with anything new, because I have shit I can go to easily. You know, all I gotta do is just think back to some old shit that's happened, or I can always reach in and tell a story that I haven't told before. It's the confidence goes away. Is I feel like, okay, well, now that you've done that, you've done 2 months worth of work. Now, what the fuck makes you think that anybody wants to listen to that? This is how it starts. This is how it starts. It will start out with the obsession over numbers, right? Where I'll look at all the numbers and I'll go, fuck, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself? I don't care about the numbers, but other people tell me I should care, right? So then I start to get obsessed with that. Then it goes from that to you put in 2 months worth of work in a couple of weeks. You know, tell what Father Murphy did to you. The Me Too movement would love you. You know, when I do too much too fast, and I know there's no such thing as too much really, but then I start to, and I don't know if this is a weird thing. I don't know if other people do this, but I started to wonder, do I have is what I do really valuable? If I can work on so much stuff and post it and get it done, is what I'm doing even valuable? If it's so quick to do it, I mean, it's when I say quick, I mean, it's not quick. Sometimes I'm in here editing one episode for 8 hours. You know, it's not fast, but that's because I go through every second of every podcast episode with a fine tooth comb. And I try to pull out as much gargled nonsense as I can, you know, where I'll take out pauses and silence or noise from the background or whatever it is. So, you know, I'll go through that and then I'll be like, all right, well, you know what? I just won't do anything. How about that? I'll take a little time off. You already have content put out ready to go. Who is it going to hurt if you take a week off? Who's going to know? Well, then I feel guilty. So I have to say that I'm doing that. And then the entire time that I'm not doing anything, all I'm thinking about is how I should be doing something. Like I need to be working on something. I need to do something, but there's only so much of your own voice that you can stomach, dude. I see why people hand editing over to other people. If all I had to do was sit here and talk into the microphone, I could probably turn out double. Indecision is worse than a bad decision. Oh, it's the worst. And the worst part about it is I know that this is all bullshit in my mind. Like, you enjoy what you're doing. Like, let's go over the checklist real fast. Do you enjoy what you're doing? Yes, most of the time. Can you continue to do it? Yes. Are you hurting anybody by doing what you're doing? Not intentionally, but I'm sure there are some people that have some wrist scars and some bracelets from a padded room that they could probably blame on what I'm doing. Is what you do valuable? Well, it depends on what you consider value. Because for me, it helps me to get out some of this pent up energy that I have. Like if I'm harping on something because I overthink everything. I overthink everything. I always have, I always will. It's just it's part of the insecurity of who I am, but that's from bad parenting and you know other shit probably. But you know, it's valuable to me because it helps me to sometimes get my head clear. Like I was very anxious before I came in here, but knowing that even doesn't matter what we're talking about, as long as we're having a conversation and shit is moving, where I'm getting the energy out, which is important, right? So there's that, and then there's also well, there's got to be somebody out there that looks forward to this every week. It doesn't matter how many people, it just matters that somebody is. You seem fairly confident. Well, see, that's the that's the tightrope that I walk. Is I know because when I come in here, I know that I have to present myself with a certain amount of confidence. If I come in here and I'm stumbling over my words and I sound unsure of myself, you're gonna go, why am I listening to that fucking guy? What is there's nothing that man can say. He doesn't even know what he wants to do. He's not even sure that he brings anything valuable to the table. So why should I sit and listen to this, right? So that's when I have to take all this shit in my mind and I have to push it to the back burner. And I say, fuck all the sadness, the anger, the insecurities, the all that. Take all that shit and throw it out the window because we don't have time for that right now. Nobody wants to listen to somebody that sounds like they're not confident in what they're doing. You need to go in there. You need to turn that motherfucking microphone on and, you know. I enjoy hearing people's experiences. Well, it's also so do I. So do I. Oh man, what's the craziest thing I've ever done? Do you think that's the craziest? I think that's probably the most. Well, yeah, the craziest thing I've ever done was drugs, but I was saying fucking in the woods in an undisclosed location where is a fucking shit. I probably shouldn't even say. Suffice it to say, it was it was a um it was a retreat, if you will, right? Where everybody was going everybody was going for uh fuck it, we were at a hemophiliac thing where a bunch of people, bring their kids and they talk about research and shit that they've done, and everybody stays in cabins and shit. And we were like, fuck it, dude. We gotta sneak out because obviously, we can't fuck in the cabin. Everybody's in there. So, we gotta figure out how we're gonna do it. So we just fucking found a spot in the fucking woods real quick. People walking around outside. You can hear them talking. We're just like, fuck it. Who's going? Anybody's going to say shit, we just deny it. But you know, reverse gangbang. Tripped on acid at a night live fire in Saudi Arabia during the first Gulf War. Holy fucking shit! That sounds like it could be a book by itself. Tracers were fucking amazing. I mean, that sounds like an amazing time. Honestly, the craziest thing I've ever done in my life was probably uh trying cocaine. That's probably the craziest thing I've ever done because it's very out of my character. Now, I know I'm supposed to talk about this in a podcast in the future, but for the sake of argument, I don't do hard drugs. I just happen to be living in a place where they were at, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. You only live once. Hopefully it's not going to kill me. Like I've seen a bunch of these people sniffing up lines and shit. Let me try one and see what all the fucking hype is about, right? So, casually doing some lines here and there, and I feel nothing at all. So I'm like, dude, this is fucking, you guys are full of shit. Like, I don't know what the hype about this fucking drug is. It's like, I'd rather just smoke weed. This is no fun at all. Until, it did only one time I got high off cocaine, and it was one of the worst experiences of my fucking life. One of the worst experiences of my life. I would never do it again. Although something really weird did happen. But basically that's the craziest thing. Well, no, the craziest thing was probably when we thought the cops were coming and I had to run out of that house. I mean, I didn't have to. Yeah, it was, never tried coke, but I love psychedelics. I would not recommend cocaine to anybody. Went to 3 Grateful Dead shows in the 80s and the parties were fucking incredible. I mean, dude, cocaine is a waste of a drug. That's what it is. I want you to take, if you've ever been drunk before, I want you to take the spins that you get at the end of the night, and I want you to increase the speed of those spins by 100, where it almost feels like your brain has been lifted out of your skull, put on a spinning plate, and it's spinning as fast as it can go. And that's the fucking sensation. Everything is it's one giant panic attack is what cocaine is. At least for me, that's what it was. Now, luckily I only got fucked up off of it once, and I never did it again after that. But I mean, I've seen some shit, dude. I know, me too. Well, partially. I quit drinking and only smoke weed because I hate that feeling. Dude, the last time I drank was the. I still can't. I still can't even smell chicken parm. Honest to God, it makes me want to throw the fuck up. I still can't even smell it. Brutal. But I hated that fucking feeling, dude. Outside of that, though, outside of the realm of drugs, I mean, because that's the. I don't. I think coke is harder than pills, but I guess in some instances, pills would be harder than cocaine, at least in this day and age now. But I'm trying to think. I'm not a real big risk taker guy. Like, I when I ran out of that house with a shitload of grams on me, I did that because I thought we were all going down, and I was trying to fucking save us all. Really, because that's all that was. It was had nothing to, you know, had a crazy life. It sounds like it. I mean, dude, just the two things that you mentioned are not like going to a Grateful Dead concert is probably one of the most eventful things you can do. But to trip in Saudi Arabia of all places, I mean that sounds fucking nuts. I definitely would not do that. I mean, I'm trying to think, dude. Fuck. I would say the crazy. I was just talking about this with Jen earlier. I think the craziest shit would probably be the stuff that I didn't do. The shit that I could have done and I didn't do is probably more crazy than anything that I have done. And honestly, I'm trying to think, man. I mean, there's a lot of times where I thought it was fucking over. But we all do dumb shit. You gotta learn. You gotta learn. You gotta do dumb things, and you gotta be a little crazy from time to time. What can you do? That's the only thing you could do. But I mean, the takeaway from this is cocaine sucks. Cocaine fucking sucks, and I don't understand. I mean, I've seen what the shit that I've witnessed people do crazy shit. Probably more so than I've done anything crazy. I mean, dude, it's wild. It's wild to watch somebody go from quote unquote regular to doing lines to freebasing is one of the craziest things you'll ever see in your fucking life because you literally watch them lose control of themselves, who they are. It's fucking scary, man. It's scary to see how quickly you can lose your mind and not even realize that you're losing it. Now, luckily, I tried cocaine, but I wasn't stupid enough to do fucking crack. I knew better. Even in my stupid fucking brain, like I knew better. Like that's not you don't want to go down that road. You don't want to go down that fucking road. And it's probably the saddest thing I've ever seen is seeing a bunch of people sit around and smoking fucking crack cocaine. That is definitely one of the saddest things I've ever seen. It's just there's no end to it. Where does it end? Nighttime raids probably was the craziest actually. Tripping in Saudi Arabia was probably the most insane. That's fucking nuts. I don't even know where that is, but that sounds like it'd be scary, honestly. Is that in Asia somewhere? I'm just trying to guess off of how it's spelled. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it because I know I'm gonna say it wrong. I mean, I did have something really crazy happen to me where Black Hawk down. Oh, okay, Somalia. Well, let me do it in order. I mean, I've had shit happen to me that I can't explain. I don't know if that's necessarily the same thing. I was holding my nephew. I was bringing him downstairs. He was a newborn, maybe 6 months old. And I mean, you could believe this story, you cannot believe it. I don't care because I was there and I know what the fuck happened. So I'm just going to say it and you can take what you want from it. But I gained nothing by making up a story and lying to you. Just know that out the gate. There's no reason why I would there's no reason why I would gain from doing that. And besides, if I've been honest up to this point, I don't really see what the fucking purpose would be. But I was coming downstairs with him, I was holding him in my arms. I was really nervous because he's a little baby. And I don't like to be, it's not as fucked up as it's going to be to say. It's not like a puppy. You know what I mean? Like if you're watching a puppy and something happens and the puppy gets killed, like you could go to jail, but at least you could explain it away and you might have your life. If you're watching a baby and the baby dies, you're fucked. That's it. Life's over. It's a wrap. Close the scene. So anyway, I'm going down the stairs with this fucking guy, and I swear to God, dude, I felt like I was pushed a little bit. Like I'm not making this up. I know I'm not opening up well, but whatever, it is what it is. This is how it fucking happened. So, you know, do what you want with it. I felt like I got pushed down the fucking stairs. And now I'm falling forward with a fucking like 6 month old baby in my fucking arms, dude. And I'm like, oh, this is how it's all this is how it's all gonna this is how it is all going to end. This is how the end happens is I'm gonna fall down the stairs. This kid is gonna be splattered all over the fucking place. And then I should just go jump in front of a car because I'm not gonna be able to live with that guilt. So I'm falling down the fucking stairs in mid fucking air with an infant in my arms, dude, and I got fucking flipped around. Not making this up, dude. Flipped around. I can't explain it to you. I don't know what the fuck happened, but I was flipped around where I was gonna fall on my chest. I flipped around so that when right before I fucking actually hit the ground, I fell on my back, dude. And luckily, the kid was right in the middle of my chest, so I was able to secure his head with my chin so that when I hit the ground, my back took all absorbed the shock from the fall, and the kid didn't even move. Like he didn't feel it. He didn't feel it at all. I still don't know. I don't know how the fuck to explain that. But that's legit. That's legitimate, dude. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what the fuck happened, but that's real shit. That's real shit. I mean, there's also like we were sitting. You got a lot of paranormal incidents happening to you. Well, dude, when we moved into the old house, and I started shooting videos in the room upstairs. Swear, true story, dude. We're moving our stuff into the house. Jen's mom is floating around trying to hang up curtain rods or whatever, right? And me and her little brother are sitting on the stairs, right? And we're both looking out the side room from where we were at on the steps. I mean, you've seen the video of the old house. You can see that if you're on the bottom of the steps, you have a clear shot through the side room. There's a window right there, so you can literally look in the backyard. At the same time, me and this kid wound up looking in the same direction. And when I looked over, there was somebody's fucking face in the window, dude. Now, I didn't say anything to anybody because I know better. You know, having seen shit that is not necessarily there, heard things that are not necessarily there. Like I've learned, yeah, keep shit to yourself. Not everybody needs to know every single thing. But it was like it looked like, I'm trying to, it looked like almost looked like a Vega mask from fucking Street Fighter, right? When I looked over and I saw the face in the window, I jumped because it legitimately scared me. And then her little brother was like, "You saw that shit too?" And then of course, because he has no grip on the fact that, like, dude, you don't, you're not supposed to say this type of shit out loud. He was like, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, nah, dude, I know you've seen the same thing that I saw because you jumped at the same time I did. Now I don't know if he actually saw that something was there. What? Yeah, because I didn't tell him what it was because I didn't want to influence him. But I did ask him what did he saw, what did he see, and he described the same exact thing that I saw. So again, I don't know what that means. Maybe we both happen to, just see some shit that wasn't there at the same fucking time. I can't explain it. I got hundreds of those, dude. There used to be fucking uh in my mom's old apartment. There was some really bad shit. And I don't know where everybody's at with the idea of ghosts and spirits and stuff like that, but no, look, I don't know if you go somewhere when you die. What I do know is that there are levels of energy that are in this world that I can't explain. And I'm not talking about taps. I'm not talking about that fake shit. I mean, there's legit shit. There's legit shit in this world that, like, I can't explain it to you. I don't understand. I don't know where it comes from. And if you bring this up to anybody, they're gonna think you're a crazy person. But, I mean, what can you do? I worked in a morgue once. Holy fuck, your mind could go crazy. I can imagine. I can imagine. That seems like that would be on point. Like you probably see them breathing, even though you know they're dead. Or, maybe you might, if you see somebody you recognize, maybe you might hear their voice, but that could be your mind playing tricks on you. But, dude, like, my mom's apartment has some really bad shit. It's a bad building. I don't, again, I don't know if there's any truth to this. But this is what I believe. You can call it stupid if you want to. I'm not going to argue with you. But I believe that if something really bad or if something really good happens in a place, that energy is connected to that event can linger there for a while. In her apartment complex, there's bad shit. Countless people have overdosed on heroin and died in that place, amongst other things. But I mean, when I say, I mean, dude, a decent amount of people have died in that place, and you can feel it as soon as you open the fucking downstairs door. You can, if she ever moves out of the fucking dump, I'll have to go over to her house. I won't go inside the apartment for obvious reasons, but I do want to take a video of the outside, so you can see what a fucking dump this place is. And that's on. You can't even blame it on all on the tenants. Most of it is the landlord from just taking the money and not putting anything back into it. But dude, I used to put, like, I don't believe in the power of Christ compels you and all that bullshit. I don't buy into any of that. But I figure, what can it hurt? You ain't lying. My uncle killed a cop in my aunt's house, and you could feel this darkness right when you walk in the door. Yeah, dude. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it's something that you can't explain that to somebody that doesn't know what that feeling is. Like, one of my friends lives out in Port St. Lucie, and I went in the first time I went into his house. I was like, bro, there's some real dark shit in this joint, dude. I don't know what the fuck went on in here, but something really bad had to have happened, because it's just the best way I could describe it is it's like a heavy, it's like you're carrying around a 20-pound bag on your chest. So you could just, everything in the room just kind of drags you down, and you feel heavy and gross, like you've eaten too much. Kind of feels like that a little bit. But like, I'm talking to him about it, and he's like, dude, well, we got this place cheap because apparently there was a bunch of murders that went on in here. Like, the walls were stained up with blood so bad that they eventually had to knock them down and rebuild. Now, I don't know if he was adding on for dramatic effect or not, but I mean, I believe it, dude. There's just, you can feel it. And, you know, we tried hanging up crosses. Used to stay the summers there. The first week, I'd be freaked out trying to go to sleep. Bro, allegedly, I'm a grown adult, and I still get fucked up. I still get fucked up. Bro, in the old apartment, bro, one of the creepiest things to ever happen to me. I don't know. Again, take it however you want. True story. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, right? We're in the apartment, and this has got to be like 14 years ago now. But some shit like this happens and you don't forget. Yeah, true. That is true. I do remember that. What was I going to say? Well, yeah, I'm in the bathroom and I'm taking a shower, and I hear the door open and close. Already I'm fucked up. It's like 4 in the morning. I know for a fact that Jen is passed out asleep in the bedroom. Like, I know that she is, because I just got out of there from not being able to sleep. And I was like, fuck it, maybe if I take a hot shower, I'll be able to relax, right? Hear the bathroom door open and close. Nothing. So I stick my head against every instinct in my body is telling me to not open the shower curtain and look on the other side, as if it would make me any more safe. Isn't that the dumbest shit you ever heard in your life? It's like when you're a kid and you think that monsters are real, so you put the blankets over your head as if that's some kind of imperishable defense system. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, you're definitely not, you're not all the way off, dude. I mean, I've had some I wouldn't say my life is as interesting, but I've definitely met some characters in my time, and I'm probably one of them. But while I'm in the middle of taking a shower, dude, I hear the light switch click, and then 2 seconds later the light goes off, and I feel every time. I know it's gonna sound cliche as fuck, dude, but it's true. Every time some creepy shit like that happens, there's always like a fucking cold breeze that just comes out of nowhere. And so you could feel it like they're just standing behind you and they're fucking staring at you. Nobody's there. You can't see them, but you can feel them. It's like they're fucking breathing on you. So, dude, now I'm fucking freaked out. I don't know what to do. I'm an adult, allegedly. I'm in the fucking shower here, and I'm afraid there's no one there, but I know that light did not just turn itself off. And I'm afraid that as soon as I've seen too many movies, because I'm afraid that as soon as I pull the shower curtain back, I'm going to flip the light switch, and then something is going to be standing behind me in the shower that's only going to reflect through the fucking mirror, and I'm going to get scared. I'm going to slip. I'm going to fall. I'm going to crack my head open, and that's how I die. Right? In my head, this is all that's happening, but I'm like, I have to turn the light on because I have to know if there's actually something there or not. The light switch turned itself off. Now, there probably could be 100 reasons as to why that happened, but I was freaked out, dude. I clicked it back on and I got the fuck out of there. Didn't go very far. I'm fucking a little bitch, dude. When shit like that happens, I get fucking scared because I don't like if a person comes after you, you can defend yourself. When some shit is fucking with you that you don't know what it is, how do you combat that? What are you supposed to do? And the clock story that you were talking about is, again, I will tell this story. The two people that were in the room when it happened have no recollection of this whatsoever. And for the record, they think I'm making it up. They think I'm making it up. But I will bet my fucking balls on this because 100% it happened. Unless, of course, it turns out that I'm a delusional schizophrenic that has completely lost touch with reality, and maybe this is all a simulation, and this podcast doesn't even exist. But we're rolling a blunt in the room. Everybody is sitting. We're bullshitting, and just when we're talking about how we're gonna figure out where we're gonna smoke this thing, there's a clock on the television that's plugged into the wall, one of the big digital deals, and it's got paper underneath it. Right when my friend goes to spark this fucking thing up, he's like, fuck it, we'll just smoke it in here. The clock gets thrown off of the television and across the room, and it only stops in the center of the floor because the cord stops it. Like we all booked out of there, dude. All three of us ran out of there for our fucking lives. And it's weird that they don't have any recollection of that memory at all whatsoever. I remember it distinctly. They both saying, both of the people that were there say that they have no idea what I was talking about. Like, dude, they ran out of the apartment and literally drove for 3 or 4 miles just to get away from the apartment before everybody caught their breath. And they were like, dude, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that about? Like, I'm not going back in that place again. I used to own my own little janitorial business, be cleaning these accounts by myself 2 or 3 in the morning, hear every little sound, and sometimes you get this weird feeling, dude, or voices, whispers. Nothing will fuck you up quicker than having to clean out like a testing facility real late. You want to hear some real creepy shit? There was a DIFUS worker. This will fuck you up, dude. This shit will keep you up at night, for real. I was working in a federal building. I was a janitor in a federal building, and there was this lady who ran the DIFUS department. Right now, DIFUS is probably called something different in every state, but it's basically Child Protective Services. And there's this young woman who apparently was top dog, right? I don't know how she got there, how long she'd been working there. All I know is she showed up one day and everybody was like, "That's the boss lady. Don't talk to her, don't look at her, don't nothing." I'm like, all right, I'll mind my business, whatever. So I see her coming in and out. And when you're a janitor, you could probably attest to this. It's almost like you're a bartender. So the only difference between being a janitor and being a bartender is when you're a bartender, people will, for some reason, they'll volunteer information to you, right? Like they want your advice for some reason. But if you're a janitor, you wind up hearing other people's stories, not because you want to. I mean, it's a small room. How do you not? When you're passing by and people that are talking, how do you not hear what the fuck it is that they're saying to each other, right? So, I overheard this lady in bits and pieces because she's all over the place. But I hear her talking about how she's in a pretty rough relationship. Like she's engaged to this dude, but she broke it off because he's abusive, and this she's afraid. He beat her up a bunch of times, and she eventually, quote unquote, broke out of it. Right. So she's trying to go on with her life. Right now, this is where it gets creepy, because she's like, this thing keeps building, and I feel like if I don't do something soon, like basically this dude is gonna fucking kill me. Like she says something to that effect. Okay. See, where when I started my shift, everybody that was working in the buildings was still there. But about an hour to 2 hours into my shift, the building would be completely empty. So when I would go in, everybody would just be ending their work day. And then by the time I'm done, everybody's gone. I'm the only one in the building, unless I'm working with somebody else. But so she basically says this dude one day is going to kill me. And I'm like, man, I remember thinking, like, that's fucked up to know that. And you work for the fucking government, be it DIFUS, but still, if anybody should have connections to be able to get protection, this lady should be able to get protection, right? You would think so. So look, long story short, about a week goes by, and I notice every day every day that I'm working, around 10:30, 11 o'clock is usually when I'm finishing up. And one of the last things to do before you leave for the night is to take out all the remaining garbage and throw it away. Because then you put the garbage cans back in the shed closet and you clock out, you go home. Now, for like a week, I loved it because I could finish as quick as I could, not to do an 8 hour work day. I mean, fuck, man, it works. I unfortunately had to. They were keeping an eye on everything. And I don't have a problem with doing it, but if I could get it done fast and efficiently, then why not just pay me for the full time? But I understand why. So, dude, throughout the week, I'm leaving, I'm doing what I gotta do. And I'm noticing it's like a fucking movie, bro. I notice there's a single car in the parking lot. I'm not this good to make this shit up. There's a single car in the parking lot and it's just sitting there. Lights off, windows tinted, and it just sits there. The guy never gets out, never see what he looks like. The car don't move. Occasionally, if I come out, the dude will drive away, and then I'll go back inside, do some other shit, come back outside, he's back again. Right? So eventually, like I start to this starts to bother me now because my fucking my antennas are tingling here, and I'm like, dude, this ain't right. I've seen I've seen a lot of things, and this definitely gives off a vibe like nothing good is gonna come out of whatever the fuck is on the other side of that car, right? Dude, just wait. So I call my boss and I go, yo, man, listen, there's been a guy, which I'm assuming is a man, that has been outside of this building all fucking week. He never gets out of his car. He doesn't say anything. And he's like, well, did you approach the car? I'm like, fuck no, I didn't approach the car. He's like, good, don't. Everybody knows who that is. That's basically, it's the boss lady's ex boyfriend who is having a hard time letting go. He's like, listen, do your job and go home. There's nothing you can do. You know, basically, she's got people that are looking out for her, whatever. So there's literally nothing that you can do except get yourself either in trouble or hurt. That's it. So mind your fucking business, do your job, go home. Okay. All right, I will. So he leaves. A couple days goes by. Back in work. Hearing the conversation with all that's going on, people starting to look for this lady. Have you seen blah blah blah? What's her name? I couldn't tell you if you put a gun to my head. I don't remember. Have you seen her? No, I haven't seen her. Like, oh, I hope she's all right. Well, she said she was gonna do this, that, and the other thing, so I'm sure she's fine. 2 days goes by, and then finally, in comes the fucking news, and you already know it's no good. Apparently, what had happened was this guy was stalking her daily, right? He knew when she was in that building, that was the only time that she was quote unquote by herself. Like me and the other jerk off I was working with were the only two people in that building besides her. So, I mean, this guy knows this, but he's smart enough to know, let me not, like, not saying that we're tough guys, but if you're gonna think crime, you're gonna think witnesses, and it's gonna be a lot more difficult if this dude wraps us up in this bullshit, right? So apparently he waits for her to come out every day. They get into a fucking argument, whatever it is. She tells him to go fuck himself, and then she goes home. So she starts a new relationship, apparently with some other dude. This guy is not having it. Apparently, what he wound up doing was followed her to the job like he did. He waited for her to fucking go home. Oh, Do you think it would have made a difference if you did something? Well, I'll get to that in a second, but he waited for her to go home. He broke into her fucking. He broke into her house and fucking strangled her to death, dude. Real, that's real shit. Strangled her to death. To death. Now, do I think it would have been different if I could have did something? I hate to say it, man, but to be completely honest, I think some things are, and I know this is morbid, but look, dude, some things are just supposed to be. I'm not saying that it's right, but I don't think there was a scenario. You can change the variables around whatever which way you want. I think that lady was going to die by that dude's hand no matter what. It was only a matter of time. So, I mean, honestly, what could I possibly have done? I don't know this dude. If he's crazy enough to follow a fucking government worker to and from her job every day, what's this motherfucker gonna do to me? But at the same time, I mean, I wouldn't just stand around and let some shit happen. You know, obviously, you would do something. I had a friend that worked, shoot his wife's boyfriend right at work. The wife and the boyfriend used to call my. Ew. What pieces of shit. What pieces of fucking shit. Well, I'm sorry, but what they did is inexcusable, and in a way, I feel like they deserved it. The wife and the boyfriend used to call my friend when they were fucking, and he snapped, came down to where she worked, and shot him. Honestly, I don't want to say good for him, but I mean, if you're that much of a piece of shit, don't you think you kind of have it coming to you? I could never. That's just rude. That's cruel and unusual. You know, I know a dude. His name is Chris. He used to be a garbage guy in town. Like he worked for the garbage company. He would come every day, do everybody's garbage cans, and he would stop, have a conversations. Oh wait, are you serious? He fled to Mexico with her and became a cop? Only in Mexico. Shoot your wife's boyfriend in America goes great for your cop resume in Mexico. That's fucked up. But dude, oh man, that distracted me. Now I forgot where I was going. Oh yeah. No, I remember. This dude, this dude, every day he would like Jen was friends with him, but I knew who he was. And when he would come by, do the garbage, small talk, whatever, he was talking about a girl that he was in a relationship with, and the dude wound up eventually hanging himself, and that was because they, her and the guy that she was fucking wound up sending this dude sex videos of her and him together, you know, leaving him voicemails and just horrible things that you just should not do to another human being. So the kid took his own life, man. For fucking, and I know what you're thinking. You got busted trying to come back to Texas 20 years later. Fuck. Damn, I was rooting for him too. It is dark. I mean, dude, humans are shit. Yeah, no shit, dude. I mean, honestly, though, I don't care how much. There's people that I fucking hate. there are people that I hate with a passion. Honestly, if they fucking died tomorrow, God forgive me, but I actually might fucking crack a smile, right? Like some real pieces of shit. And even them people don't deserve that. You know, there's just but again, this comes down to codes and ethics. There's just some things you don't fucking do. There's some things you don't fucking do. Calling an ex of yours while you're fucking somebody else is at the top of the list of one of those things. That's on the list. Having an ex.
Married and had a kid. They were married for 3 years, and after 6 months of being married to them, after dating for two, she was cheating on him.
Can you grab me those TBD and a Snapple?
Yeah, there you go so far.
Wait, let me see. I should have showed this before she started, but if you follow me on the Instagram, then you saw this when it was just black and white, but she's coloring it. You know, not bad. I mean, it looks better in person than it does on camera. At least the cat does, anyway. Well, no, it's all right. If you get close up, you can see it better.
What?
You know, it looks a little weird on camera versus
Well, yeah.
in person, but it looks good though. It's solid.
That's probably because of the nose ring.
You know, it's fucked up.
And there's the other ones.
This looks like it could be a zombie thing.
Yeah.
You're only showing one side here. Hold on, there's a spot. There you go.
What?
Yeah, you should make hentai comics.
Hentai?
Yeah, you know
that sounds familiar.
The cartoon porn.
Mm. Yeah, I could.
All right, Snapple fact number 250. Mongolians invented lemonade around 1299 AD. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I feel like I'm at a Dungeons and Dragons convention. I actually got invited to play Dungeons and Dragons at a friend's of mine a few months ago when I had the HIV, but because I was sick, I couldn't go. You know, I've never played Dungeons and Dragons before, but I could probably get some nerdy pussy, right? That's fucking. That's funny. That's funny because I'm also a nerd, just a different type of nerd. Ugh.
We want three?
Mm-hmm. Ah. Shit. It never gets easier. Oh, God. I wish a woman would invite me to her Dungeons and Dragons He said, I wish a woman would invite me to her dungeon and play with my dragon. Rimshot.
Don't be so grim.
Mongols also invented whole city liquidation. I don't know what that means. Does that mean wiping cities off of the map?
Mongoloid babies.
Which, you know what, dude? All right. I've told this story on the podcast before. I think like episode 14. But dude, one of the most what fuck what the craziest thing is that you've ever done. What's the hardest thing you've ever done? Not saying like what took you the most. What is something that you wanted to do in the worst way, but you had to stop yourself from doing it? Marco Polo. I just saw that in the Styles P. Pharaoh March video. They have Marco Polo signs. I have to look that one up. Dude, I don't want to get into it. Especially not my fucking face on the goddamn camera. I was talking to Jen about this earlier, which was basically there was a woman that was literally trying to blow me, dude. Trying to actively. And it was the one of the most difficult decisions I've ever had to make in my life. But I'm a motherfucking man, god damn it. So I did what I had to do. Because look, I don't know where you guys land on this, so let me just float it out there. I know some guys think that it doesn't matter how drunk she is, you know, if she's willing to get it, I'm willing to give it, right? But I don't know about you, but I live by rules. After a certain point, even if they are actually willing to do it, like it becomes taking advantage, man. There's just some shit you just can't do. Now this girl wasn't drunk, but she was fucking high out of her mind. And quite honestly, I felt like at the time that somebody that looked like her don't try to blow somebody that looks like me. So I was like, dude, that's the weed talking, man. You know what I mean? Like I can't. You're too fucked up. You're too fucked up. I can't let you do that. And she's really trying hard to convince me. I had to tell you that was one of the most difficult decisions I've ever had to make in my fucking life, but I didn't let her do it. I didn't let her do it because all right, full disclosure. I felt like because it was to be like, would you do the same thing sober? I don't think you would. That's for one. For two, you know, what if you are fucking just fucked up enough to regret it later? For three, has anybody even ever said no to you? Like in a respectful kind of a manner? Like you know, you're not fucking. Uh, oh, shut up. You would, dude, believe me, if you were there, if I could rewind time and I could bring you with me, I would show you what happened. Dude, look, I'm sure you would have went with it 100%. But look, I'm proud of myself for not doing it, which is kind of a regret and not at the same time. But listen, I feel like it was important that I did that. Well, real quick, let me read this. That's what Kaepernick got caught doing some years back. She passed out and didn't know it happened. Yeah, that's scumbag shit. High is different than drunk. Drunk, I'm with you. Okay, so yeah, but I mean, the way I figured it, dude, was I don't know. I mean, I think I did the right thing. Especially now, I don't know what this means, but I wound up seeing her. I wound up seeing her a little while after that, and she was with a bunch of people, and she was like, "Oh, this is the dude, this is the dude that I was telling you all about." And basically, they were like, "Oh, so this is the, like, that's the guy." Like, ew, really? There was a couple of bitches that were like, "Ew, really?" And I gotta be honest with you, those motherfuckers look like they should be holding numbers in an abortion clinic. Is all I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. They're not exactly top tier, so they should shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? But it was just the fact that she was like, "Man, I just look. I appreciate it. I don't know if this is hurt pride, but I honestly like to believe maybe that was the first time that some dude didn't do some scumbag type shit. Like even if only for that moment in her entire life, even if that was the only one, even if that was the only one, at least you can look back at that and go, well, at least there's still some gentleman in the world. I can't verify that. And don't get me wrong. I mean, like, dude, I know it's not something you're supposed to be proud of, right? You're supposed to just do some shit like that and be like, okay, I did the right thing, and that's it. You're not supposed to be proud of it. But if you only knew how difficult it was. I mean, I've seen people crumble over way less. You know what I mean? So it wasn't easy. But what are you gonna do? It's over. But I think that shit's important. Is you know everybody needs to be reminded once in a while that they're more valuable than what it is that they could do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, maybe there's some fucking new age gay shit, but I think that, especially like guys, whatever, we're fucking everybody thinks we're scumbags or pieces of shit. We'll do whatever, and some dudes will, but the reality of the fact is that most guys aren't. I don't think we spend a whole lot of time thinking about shit like that. Where I think maybe some women do, not all of them. I think a lot of women are just like guys, where they don't care. They just want to get what they need out of the exchange, and that's it. But I think is moments, those small moments in life where just think about how many times this motherfucker went to the bar or got hit on by some creep. You know what I mean? How many examples of that do women have versus them going, well, somebody didn't fucking treat me like a piece of meat. Maybe she needed to get a little to open up. You don't know. Yeah, dude, I know. I know. You're probably right. But whatever. I hope one day, if it did nothing else, she could think about that. I mean, like, well, at least, all hope is not dead. I mean, but I'm a piece of shit. So, yeah, whatever. Fucking sucks, dude. Sucks. Although those situations are really difficult to be in. Because I gotta imagine, on one hand, she must be insulted, right? Like, oh, this motherfucker? If I looked like him, I would take whatever I could get. She must be thinking. I have to imagine. She must be thinking that at the time, right? Probably even more still now. Like, if I was him, I would take whatever I could fucking get. How the fuck you gonna shoot me down? But it wasn't like in a disrespectful way. But I think there should be more than that, more of that. And there really isn't. I've seen it hundreds of times, especially in bars, bro. They're the creepiest fucking places for you to be. You find the creepiest creepers in a bar, dude. Like they don't care. They'll just try to. They got no game either. It's like they're not even like on one hand you can almost respect the fact that they're not trying to cover up what they're trying to do. At the same time, like, dude, have some fucking self-respect, will you? Jesus Christ. What makes you look at that woman standing over there and go, she needs this. She needs this in her right now. That's what she needs. She doesn't know it yet, but she gonna find out. Fucking ridiculous, dude. So, no, honestly, dude, I would tell you if I did. I didn't. I didn't, but I'll tell you this, it probably would have taken all of 2 fucking seconds. Honest to God. Probably. If even that long. Really just saved myself the embarrassment, probably. But there's no fucking way I was handling that. No fucking way. And that's the truth. I got no reason to lie. Fucking ridiculous. Just wild, man. No, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Because you don't hear that a lot from dudes unless it's some feminist asshole who's just around trying to score some pussy anyway. Like it's never really done genuinely. Very rarely, I feel like. And when it is done, it's not advertised. You never hear about anything like that. Never. You only hear about the bad shit guys do. You never hear about what we try to do good, which is usually not a lot often, but it does happen. Ridiculous. And speaking of bars, that brings me directly back into the fucking show. These people own a bar. Now, the interesting dynamic of this show is that Steve Buscemi in this show is he's got mental problems. He's a crazy person. He's spent, I think, 5-10 years in a loony bin. He sees shit that isn't there. He's a mess. So he's dealing with that. And they explore these situations a little bit. All right, yeah, I was about to get out of here too in a couple of minutes, but I appreciate you stopping by, dude, because I got to be up at like 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow so I could go to the doctor. But, to wrap this thing up all the way around, they talk about mental issues the struggle of trying to maintain being an outpatient, the effects that the medication can have on the body versus the health in the treatment that you're getting. You know, they covered abuse from spouse and to children, you know, child abuse and marital abuse. They cover that. They touch up on cancer a little bit. Obviously, alcoholism because it's a fucking bar. I mean, it's only 10 episodes. It is kind of weird, just in the sense that the opening music is very strange. It sounds like you're about to be broken out into a fucking country show. It's very odd. But it's, if for no other reason, just because it's different, it's definitely worth checking out for sure. I mean, some of the acting is not the best, but I think you're gonna get that when you're trying to make something that feels genuine in the moment. Everything can't seem perfectly rehearsed and scripted because then you're not getting the emotion out of your characters. I mean, you will, but it will still shine through. Like, you know, people can tell that it's bullshit, which is another thing that Louis does very well. He likes to he likes to touch up on legit shit, and oftentimes he does try to make it funny, but even when it is funny though, he does manage to get to get a unique perspective on what the truth is out regardless. Like there's that one clip that I used a little while ago where it's him and some dude and they're walking around outside and the clip opens up with the guy saying, "So you took a chance on being happy even though later on you knew you would be sad and now you're sad. So what's the problem?" And Louis is like, "Well, I'm too sad. You know, I don't. This is no good." Basically, paraphrasing what he says, like, you know, I mean, I knew this was possible, but I didn't think it was gonna hurt this bad. And the guy looks at him and he goes, "You know, misery is wasted on the miserable." And he's like, "What?" He's like, what are you talking about right now? You're talking like a crazy person." And the guy is like, "Well, no, you don't get it." He's like, this is what you've been fighting for the entire time." He goes, you think loving her, having fun with her, spending time with her, you think that's what love was really about? He's like, "No, this this is what it's about. The pain, the heartbreak, getting addicted to sadness." Well, eh, I mean, it's a state that I'm used to being in. Unfortunately, it's nice to break out of it, but And I only bring up, I mean, this shit did kind of make me sad. I didn't know that that was what was going to be going into it. But, basically, the dude says, uh, fuck. Basically, the dude says, you know, the whole time you've had your shit mixed up. The reason why this is the important part is because it's once you once you move on, once you forget, that's when it doesn't matter anymore. Like that this is the moment when you're that fucked up is I think the moment that you're the most raw and in touch with those emotions that maybe you couldn't express before. Now, I don't think it's the greatest thing in the world to do to walk around and be fucking depressed all day or to sabotage yourself into where you're always in a bad situation. But to be able to look at a position like that and pull out a learning experience from it is important. But it's also important to not stay in that fucking sadness to stew in it. Because that shit sucks. It's the fucking worst. It's the fucking worst. That's honestly why I spend most of my time watching or listening to shit that makes me laugh. Because most of the time I'm upset, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I'm fucked up. So, I'm looking to get away from all of that. I'm looking to get a break and all of that. Like I know I can't fix it. When you know there's something wrong with you and you can't fix it, that shit will bring you a level of sadness that I can't even fucking explain to you. It's like, well, hold on, I didn't ask for this and I don't get to fix it. That shit just it fucks you up, and it's almost like, you know what it's like. It's like maybe you have a point. Getting addicted to sadness because it's almost like if you're dealing with a fucking deadbeat parent, right? Mom, dad, whatever it is, and this piece of shit parent says every week they call you and they say, well, this weekend is gonna be our weekend. I'm gonna come and get you, right? Every weekend comes and goes, the motherfucker never shows up. Until eventually you you get used to it. You learn to operate within those feelings. Like it gets to the point where if if anything else if anything else happened, if the motherfucker did show up, you wouldn't know what to do. But that's a dangerous that's a dangerous place to be in. Jim Norton talked about this a while ago on a platform some fucking where. It could have been Sirius, wherever. But he was talking about how he found himself sabotaging his relationships on purpose to to get that bowling ball feeling in his stomach. Like he hated himself for doing it, but he got so used to being depressed and uncomfortable that feeling normal didn't feel normal anymore. I mean, I think that's interesting in a bad way. But I understand. But I mean, I don't like to I don't like to live in the sadness 24/7, but at the same time, it does make me feel better knowing that other people are having similar thoughts, even if they're in different situations, you know, just to be able to hear those same thoughts being expressed, even if it is dealing with something that's completely unrelated. Because I think that's important. But I mean, maybe that's why I'm so attached to music. The only thing that feels real sometimes, yeah, 100%. Because sometimes happiness doesn't. Isn't that fucked up? Happiness doesn't. You can forget what it feels like to be happy while you're happy, but you never forget. You never forget what it feels like to be upset or depressed. It's almost like this. I mean, I say this shit all the time, but I really do believe it. Like depression and anger are the two strongest emotions that you have, and I think they trump everything else in comparison. Because you can act, I mean, I know you can act irrationally off of impulse and happiness too, but not the same way that you would out of anger or depression. That shit just pulls something. I think it pulls a very guttural, primal instinct out of us all that it doesn't really, it doesn't even make sense. But it's a dangerous line, it's a dangerous line to walk. It really is. But I mean, that's why a lot of the times when I do, when I start to feel myself kind of nosediving, I'll try to, I'll come in here and work on some shit. That's the one advantage to doing a live stream over a podcast is sometimes if I try to do a podcast, I have to I have to convince myself like you can you can do this. You can do this, you can put it together, it'll be entertaining, all that shit. Whereas with this, I don't have time for any of that. I when I came in here earlier, I looked at this screen and right when I started to overthink, I pressed the fucking button to go live. Why? Because it forces me to think on my feet. You don't have time to fuck around and think about what you're gonna say, what you're not gonna say. I only had the title of this video in mind. That's it. Nothing else. I didn't write down anything. I just came in here and here we are. That's how you got to do it sometimes. Because I don't know what's going to happen on the day that I figure out that I don't have it anymore. And you're not going to have it every day. Some days would be off. Some days are better than others. But this is all part of the it's all part of the process. I know anybody can look at what I'm doing and go, dude, well, you're rambling. Yeah, maybe, but there's a larger point in it somewhere. I mean, I'm not just throwing a bunch of words that don't make sense together to make sentences, to make noise, to pass time. I'm trying to make valid points in all of this shit, which I don't always do. In which, by the way, the child's play watch along is not happening because I transferred the file from the phone to the computer, and I had my Bluetooth headphones in when I recorded it, and I had my phone across the room on the charger. Apparently, the phone overrode the Bluetooth, so the audio was recording off of the phone that was halfway across the fucking room. So you can't hear anything that I'm saying. I tried compressing the audio, I tried equalizing it, increasing the bass, increasing the treble, cutting the treble. Wait, what? DMX wanted to battle Eminem. I did not hear that. Holy shit. I mean, fuck, dude. I don't know how I feel about that. It's been a while since we heard from DMX. But then again, when's the last. Who's the last rapper that Eminem went up against that was actually worth a fuck? It's the other thing, too. I don't know. Who you think would win? Well, there's got to be a reason. I don't think you would say that for no reason. There's got to be. Hold on. What? Well, I mean, I haven't heard DMX in a while, so I don't know what the fuck he sounds like now. But nobody was fucking with him in his prime, dude. No way.
Next versus battle on Saturday, May 16th. Ludacris and Nelly went head to head with an arsenal of hits, and now looks like the stage is being set for the next one. According to an Instagram post from Nori, Versus co founder Swiss Beats says he spoke to Eminem, who was down to battle DMX. Beats apparently called X to let him know. This moment is so legend. Noriega captioned the post of himself playing Jenga with X. 3 minutes before this, At the Real Swiss calls X and says Eminem is down for that smoke, and X say he can get it, but I still want J. So classic behind the scenes. Sorry if I wasn't supposed to say nothing, but I had to. DMX versus Slim Shady? What y'all think? I'm riding with the dog. Although nothing official has been announced by Swiss or fellow versus co-founder Timbaland, a Shady versus X battle would likely reel in a record number of viewers. Previous battles have done incredible numbers. The Erykah Badu versus Jill Scott battle earlier this month, which marked the first versus event between two women, drew in roughly 700,000 simultaneous viewers. Meanwhile, the RZA versus DJ Premier battle attracted over 90,000 viewers within 2 minutes of going live. And although
Duh.
Babyface and Teddy Riley's first versus battle was marred by technical difficulties, their second attempt proved to be a success. In addition to M versus X, other potential battles being thrown around are Snoop Dogg or X versus Jay-Z, and a piano battle between John Legend and Alicia Keys. So what do you guys think? Who would win in a versus battle between DMX and Eminem? Who y'all got your money on, and would you tune in? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below.
Ah, shit. Dude. Oh, man. That's fucking tough. I would really be interested to see what would you go with? What would you go with? Because we all know the spirit of battling is you're tearing the other motherfucker apart, right? But I think they're friends. At least to a point. So it's not like how personal could you get? And DMX is known for not taking shit lightly. So I don't know, man. That's a tough call. Look, what would be the point of battling Jay Z? I mean, come on, dude. That's not even fucking. We don't even need to. We don't even need to think about that. DMX would fucking destroy him. Are you crazy? You know why? It's because Jay Z is comfortable. X doesn't know how to be comfortable. As an outsider looking in, it seems like DMX has a passion for the shit like nobody has. But I could be wrong. Fuck, dude. I mean, I'm not gonna get excited about it. Honestly, I mean, I wish I could say I cared more, but I really don't. I don't know what has happened to me. Well, I mean, because it's all a fucking thing to get numbers. That's all it is. It's not about the fucking sport of it. It's about how much money they can pull in. That's all it is. I mean, fuck, dude. I went back and I listened to all the Locks disc records that they put out when uh them and Rockefeller were battling, and those songs are still fucking great. I listened to the whole mixtape, dude, and it was all one sided, but I don't even care. Shit was fucking amazing. That was different though because both of them had something to prove. One of them was supposedly the biggest label existing in that moment in time, and the other was the underground version of the same thing. It was a matter of who could do it better. But I mean, we already know that. I don't care who Rockefeller had. They're not fucking with the Locks, dude. No fucking way. Just not. It's just not happening. You can have all the number one hits that you want, dude. The skill level just doesn't come close. I would actually argue it's probably easier to make a commercially successful song than it would be to make a classic that could live for 20 fucking years without radio play. You know, but I mean, later on in his career, I mean, now Jadakiss has been putting out tons of shit that is really commercial. I mean, he's been doing that on and off for years, though. I mean, even since the first album, he's been putting out commercial type music. He still does street shit, and when he gets into that mode, you can't fuck with him. But just the idea that he can go back and forth and make it seem so effortless is just fucking crazy. But I mean, I don't be honest, dude. I don't like a lot of it because I know it's industry. I feel like I've been given a view behind the curtain. You know what I mean? Like I understand you're making a song that sounds like this and that's written like this for only the specific purpose of mass appeal. That's all it's for. You don't really give a shit about this song. Like this is you working out half asleep, essentially. And then people go fucking crazy for it. Like, dude, that's not even the best shit this guy could do. And if I played you one of the best things that he ever did, you would not appreciate it because you don't care about that aspect of the music. But I think that's why I can't get into it. I don't have no patience for it, man. You know, great, you got money, it's cool, you got cars and jets and whatever. I don't fucking care. Tell me something real, dude. Give me something. Something that matters. You know, which I mean he's done plenty of that. Most of the people that I listen to have. It's just the point, dude. I don't like it just you could tell it's fake. You could just tell it's fake. There's nothing anybody can say that would change my mind otherwise just because you can hear it. I mean, ugh, don't get me wrong. I know you still have to put the effort in, but it's not the same. Even the confidence level is different. Like I would have to pull some songs out to show you. And you know, most people would think that I'm crazy and like, dude, what you're saying really doesn't make sense. I don't hear any difference, but it's there. It's there. Or maybe it isn't. Maybe I am a fucking crazy person. Well, not maybe. I definitely am. So look, the child's play thing got screwed. But what are you gonna do? I mean, I did record something else. It's 40, or as it sits right now, it's 45 minutes long. And I've been debating on keeping it just at that alone. But that would be episode 84. So I don't know. I could add to it. I still have a little bit of extra shit. Yeah, definitely. There's other shit. Plus, I was just doing it as a goof anyway, just because I wanted to see how how different the movie was from when it scared the shit out of me to now, which some of it still does scare the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the premise is wild, but some of the deaths were fucking hilarious. Like, okay, cool. So you're trying to tell me you got hit in the face with a plastic hammer hard enough for you to go flying out of like a 13-story window? I don't know about all that.
Couple shit. You know the cigarettes I'll take her down.
I don't have them. They're right there somewhere.
With the dog's dildo.
Yeah. And I'll go down too. Fuck it.
Bro, I took my squad.
Yeah, I know. I should be asleep already.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm fucking. Nah, fuck it. What are you gonna do? No. Like, dude. No. Like, I don't know what the fucking. I can't worry about it. I'm going to anyway. I'm going to anyway. Look, there's nothing I could do. But I do this every time before a fucking appointment. Every time, no matter what, I panic the night before. Just because I know it's not lost on me how much power these people have. Whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. We'll definitely have to pick this up another time. If you have Hulu, you should check out whatever the fucking show is called. Horace and Pete. It's a little bit odd put together. Some of the things are weird, which we can, dissect it on another day, I guess. But I gotta be at this fucking appointment by 8:30 tomorrow morning. So, needless to say, I should have been asleep an hour ago. But I fucking hate this, dude. I really do. Sucks. But I mean, look, I'm hoping in closing, I'm hoping that I won't have my regular string of luck. That all the assholes that are fucking sick will stay the fuck home. I mean, I guess if I was charging, 400 bucks for a fucking appointment, I would want my patients to come in the office too, regardless. And I know the world has to start back up eventually. I just don't see this as essential when they've already proven they could do it over the fucking phone. Now this is just a matter of breaking fucking balls. And I really don't appreciate the attitude. But you know what? We'll save this. If I have any time left in my live stream, which I'm probably don't, but even if I don't, I'm sure I'll come back with a story tomorrow. Depending on how long it goes, maybe I'll just throw it up on the channel, or maybe I'll edit it out and make it a podcast. But I gotta go. I gotta fucking, even though I'm not ready, I gotta go to bed. I'll go downstairs one last time just to fucking give myself a few minutes to overthink and then hopefully come upstairs and pass the fuck out, but I doubt it. Appreciate everybody that has stopped by. Hopefully, some of this has made sense, even though it probably hasn't. I should just stop titling these fucking things because I'm never going to stick to a single subject, but we already all know that. And I didn't even plug the goddamn show. Oh, fuck. The one that I do every week. But Saturdays, 5 a.m., adjust your time zones, check your local listings, Spotify, iTunes, blah, blah, blah. At Lappin' Birds Pod on Instagram, at Lappin' Birds on Twitter, and I'm going to fucking lose my mind temporarily.
And go beat your dog.
Yeah. I'll catch you all later. Sucks. Wish me luck. I'm gonna fucking need it.